Democrats punching back with force. So yesterday was the first DOJ subcommittee hearing. That subcommittee is led by Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Democratic Congressmember Garcia goes, I find it pretty rich that we are being led here in this subcommittee about DOJ by a lady who was literally showing dick pics during last congressional term. Watch this takedown. Let's play it.
Now, I find it ironic, of course, that our chairwoman, Congresswoman Greene, is in charge of running this committee. Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Greene literally showed a dick pic in our oversight congressional hearing, so I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man. He was the biggest political donor in the last election. He has billions of dollars in conflicts of interest, and we know that he is leading a power grab, also abided by and encouraged by Donald Trump and, of course, the chairwoman, Congress.
Next up, you have Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Let's play it.
But just to be clear, I was there, so I don't want anyone to believe that Democrats just come to work and don't plan to do work. In fact, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that the Republicans believe our job is, because right now they have relinquished their constitutional duties over to an unelected bureaucrat, someone who no one went out to vote for. And absolutely, he is occupying the Oval Office, as we saw yesterday. And that is a first for me to see someone occupying the Oval Office who's never actually been elected to the Oval Office and actually answering more questions than the person that allegedly got elected.
What I really like is that the Democrats stacked this subcommittee with fighters, people who were ready to push back. But let's check out what Democratic Congressmember Jamie Raskin was saying in a different hearing. Here, play this clip.
More sweepingly, Trump and his FCC are using their powers to investigate, sue, and threaten news groups that dare to criticize the administration. Trump is suing CBS for $20 billion in damages because, check this out, he believes an interview with Kamala Harris produced too favorable an impression of her. So that means that I could sue Fox News because I think their interviews with Trump produce too favorable an impression of him. I mean, this is lunacy. And now, exploiting his asserted unitary executive powers, Trump is unleashing his sycophant FCC chairman Brendan Carr on every news group whose stories he doesn't approve of, actually threatening to pull the government broadcast licenses for ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, and NPR. Nothing of a hostile nature, of course, has taken place against Fox News, which is now the de facto state-approved media, enjoys immunity from the repression visited on its liberal competitors. What is this, North Korea?
And folks, that's one of the things that I was talking about. How pathetic can you be? Donald Trump is suing CBS for $20 billion because Donald Trump did not like the way CBS presented the interview in the 2024 election with former Vice President Kamala Harris, where Donald Trump was too afraid to sit with an interview with 60 Minutes. Kamala Harris did the interview, and Trump's whining, oh, it was so unfair. What, they edited out some of her ums and ahs very quickly, and Trump goes, that injured me, $20 billion. Trump sued in the Northern District of Texas so he could go judge shopping and get Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk, the MAGA judge. And then Donald Trump was joined in that lawsuit by Ronnie Jackson, the MAGA Republican Congress member, so he can try to claim jurisdiction in Texas Amarillo division because Congressmember Ronnie Jackson's from Amarillo, and he goes, I'm a consumer. I was injured billions of dollars because I had to watch it. By the way, I don't care what political party you're from. That's pathetic. Pathetic. Here's Democratic Congressmember Eric Swalwell pushing back against the pathetic Donald Trump administration and his supporters. Play this clip.
For the last 3 years, Donald Trump campaigned on lowering your costs. Do they feel lower? Does anything about this hearing get us to lower costs? You were promised cheap eggs, and today you're getting cheap shots. And there's probably no better natural remedy for insomnia than a congressional hearing on anti-censorship.
Next up, we've got Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett back at the Doge hearing. Here she is saying, I hear a lot of people who are upset with TikTok, apparently, she goes, but maybe we should really be upset about Elon Musk running Twitter and spreading lies and then admitting to it in the Oval Office. Play the clip.
Because for whatever reason, we had a guy that went in, and you talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things, because I don't understand, if you are trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying, and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
It's time for
the
us
gentlelady's
to do our
time
job
has expired.
and rein in this rogue actor known
The
as
gentlelady's
Elon
time
Musk.
has expired.
Back to Democratic Congress member Eric Swalwell. Let's play it.
He's a petty, punitive child. And I can recognize a toddler because I'm a parent of 3 of them. And I recognize the same behavior. And yes, censorship is occurring, but it's self-censorship. And it's by you all. Because I hear you in our private conversations when you agree that Trump is a child. I hear the people you tell that Trump is a child, whether it's lobbyists or reporters. But you shrink in this room, and you shrink in the chamber, and you self-censor yourselves from speaking out because you're afraid. And he's laughing at you that you take him so seriously because he's unserious. He's laughing that you think he is so powerful because he's weak. He's laughing that you think he is so big because he's quite small.
By the way, folks, do you like the fight that we're seeing here with these Democrats? This is what I've been waiting for. Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Let's play it.
There, because we've had a number of these hearings. So I do want to be clear, before the Trump administration came in, this committee did exist in the form of the Oversight Committee, and our task is to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. In that vein, we had a number of hearings, at least last term. I can't speak for any other term, as I'm only in my sophomore term. And we dealt with improper payments. And interestingly enough, our chairwoman, who is so passionate about this today, she missed every single one of those improper payment hearings. But just to be clear, I was there. So I don't want anyone to believe that Democrats just come to work and don't plan to do work.
Next up, we've got Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman, who recently appeared with me on the Midas Touch Network as well. Play this clip.
We have the power of the purse. Maybe it's wasteful, maybe it's not. I have no idea. You have no idea. But it's a blatant violation of the law and the Constitution. And apparently my Republican colleagues are so weak and afraid of Donald Trump and Elon Musk that they're willing to undermine their own constitutional authority just to please them. You're giving away your own power in fealty to Donald Trump. So, Mr. Chairman, I ask that for our next hearing, we actually do some oversight and accountability of what this administration is doing right now, not what the Biden administration did years ago. And I yield back.
So what was one of the things that Elon Musk and MAGA were doing all day as well? Well, one of the Democratic witnesses was a individual who was blind. He went tragically blind early in life. And this guy is not the director of government oversight. He's the director of government affairs for a non-governmental organization called Project on Government Oversight. And he was just going through facts, but MAGA used it as a time to mock the fact that he's blind. While all of this is going on, too, we learned from the good reporting here by Ryan Grimm from Dropsite News that Tesla is now forecast to win the largest State Department contract of 2025. $400 million for armored Teslas, according to procurement documents reviewed by Grimm. Interesting, because remember when Donald Trump said this? Play the clip.
Any clue? All they know is electric. They want electric army tanks. They want electric planes. What happens if the sun isn't shining while you're up in the air? Well, sir, I told you there'd be problems, sir. No, they want electric everything. They want electric boats. The problem, the boats, they don't float because the battery is so heavy, it sinks the boat. They say, we don't care, we want them anyway.
Also, folks, we're learning that sources within the NOAA say that additional administrative burdens being caused by the Trump administration, combined with the ongoing federal hiring freeze and additional anticipated staff and budget cuts, will hamper the ability of the United States to maintain a functioning public weather service. Hey, liberals, look what we did. Isn't this what we're owning the libs by getting rid of a weather service? They are gutting every aspect of our government, folks. Democratic Congresswoman Jacobs, let's play it.
And I got to be honest with you, it is so funny to me that I've just heard my colleagues on the other side of the aisle spend 30 minutes talking about the preeminence of Congress, about how we don't want unelected bureaucrats making these rules, when they are literally allowing an unelected Elon Musk to run roughshod over Congress's power of the purse and to literally break laws that Congress has passed and mandated.
And then what are the MAGAs saying? Oh, it's just insults for them, no facts, the level of arrogance. They just think we, the people, are going to take this crap. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, by the way, who Midas Touch once sued. She ended up paying us some money, and then we took her money and we gave it to nonprofits that were supporting gun reform. That's what we did with Marjorie Taylor Greene a few years back. But here's Marjorie Taylor Greene attacking Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Play the clip.
Ma'am, one of the people that Elon Musk has hired to do these audits literally wrote an AI program to decode the scrolls of Pompeii that no one else was able to do. I'd say he's qualified to do an audit.
Well, that's a little bit above Miss Crockett's intelligence level, so she doesn't really understand that. The reality is Democrats like Miss Crockett, Mr. Garcia, pitching their temper tantrums and not being serious about our national debt is exactly why we will win in the midterms. And
here is Alina Habba on the guy who posted, quote, normalize Indian hate in September, who, by the way, J.D. Vance, who's married to an Indian woman, J.D. Vance rushed to support this guy. And then she goes, who cares? Let the Indian hate guy back. Here, play the clip.
Young Doge staffer who, tweeted something stupid, I don't know, whenever it was. They brought him back, and the legacy media is melting down. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think JD tweeted about this perfectly and just said, look, who cares? He said something wrong. Let's give him another try. We are human. Humans make mistakes.
Folks, I like the Democrats are fighting back. I like that they're in the Doge committee, sleeves up, fighting back. And the contrast cannot be more clear. Again, to me, I don't even want to think about this as political parties. Who wants oligarchs going through your private data and taking Social Security information and your medical records and gutting the weather service and gutting the Department of Education and the Department of Labor? By the way, did you see their budget, the MAGA Republicans' budget that they rolled out? What was it? A $4 trillion tax cut? So what the MAGAs are doing, the sleight of hand is Elon Musk's like, look, $50 million condoms in Gaza, which is false. $18 million here. And all these stuff that he's spewing, are mostly all lies when they're saying it's fraud. It's like not fraud, and they misrepresent what these programs are. Look what we did. $4.5 trillion to the billionaires. Do you see it? $4.5 trillion tax cut to the billionaires. They're going to gut $800 million from Medicaid. That's in their budget, to gut Medicaid and give it to the billionaires. While Donald Trump's in the Oval Office selling out NATO, selling out Ukraine. Again, set aside political parties and just be like, what the heck is going on here? We're going to keep reporting about it fearlessly here at the Midas Touch Network. Hit subscribe. Shout out to Snapstream, by the way. They've helped put some of these clips together. They help us gather those clips that you see at Snapstream. Description below. Check them out. Hit subscribe. We appreciate you.